Hello. Welcome to the video. I'm LakeLife951. Today, I'm going to be trying to explain how to set up a receipt printer using Lumia Stream overlays and alerts to make a custom card or event printout for things that happen during your stream, whether it be donations or subscriptions, follows, memberships, um, anything like that. So it would apply to the smaller printers like the 58 millimeter or anything like that, and the 80 millimeter. Believe you can also use a regular printer to print out 8.5 by 11 or like shipping label size if you want to do something like that for stickers or name tags, anything like that. Should work as long as Lumia sees the printer and you have the canvas set up to fit on that size media. All right, so first thing you want to do is go into your Lumia stream. All right. In the Lumia stream, you need to start a new overlay. I've done this for several hours trying to figure this out before I was finally able to do it, and this is why I'm making a video on it, to try to hopefully help anybody else that might need it, because I couldn't find exactly what I needed in other tutorial videos. So if you have been trying to set it up and you're at a standstill, you probably already know what your canvas size is. You probably already been testing prints, and maybe stuff's getting cut off or stuff's not printing out how you want. And you might already have it set up. If you don't know what canvas you need, you can come over to a website like Pixel Calculator. I have an 80 millimeter printer and my DPI on it is 203. According to this, it should be a 639 canvas. It's not exactly correct, but it gives you a place of where to start. So in Lumia Stream, I know by trial and error that's not right, but we're going to go add a new overlay. I'll open up my old one real quick, or the one I'm actually going to use real quick just to show you. This is what I have it set up as. I have crew, where crew's at right now. It's going to put a username. The launch date's going to be the date and time, and then my quote unquote boat, because obviously it's a lake party type theme. It's going to have my YouTube channel. This is actually how it's going to print out on YouTube Live, because I'm only streaming to YouTube when I stream right now. And then down here, I have the launch ID as just LL915 for Lake Life 9 or 951. I don't know why I said 915, but 951. And then this is the current number of subscribers I have on my channel. So that's what that overlay looks like. We are going to be starting one from brand new so I could show you. So like I said, we already know it's 639 by 1000. That's what we're going to go with. We're going to name this as just name it as guide. All right. Don't need to put an overlay description, but we do know we need to change this. We're going to go custom and we're going to put 639 and 1000 is what we're going to be doing. So add a new overlay. When overlay pops up, this is what our canvas is going to look like. I like the dark mode a little bit better. Doesn't suit everybody. First thing, add your layer. You're going to come in. This is where you're going to be adding your card, your graphic, whatever you want to print out. Remember, thermal printers only print in black and white. So if it's a lot of dark colors, it's just all going to mesh together. I use Chat GPT to redo my logo and make that card a thermal printer compatible card, and it turned out pretty well. I'm happy with it. So if you just need to redo your logo, upload it to Chat GPT and have at it and see what comes of it. And you might find something you like. Tell it like, hey, I want to do it for this size, and it will try to do it. Okay, so for our image, we're gonna name our image card, because that's what it is. All right. I already have it right here. This is the most recent one I'm using and what I'm going to be going with. So we're going to add it. Now, if you notice, it doesn't exactly, I also have this turned off for snapping. It doesn't exactly fill up the whole canvas size. This is by design. This is on purpose. All right. I don't drag it all the way over to the side. because it will cut off this. So like I said, through trial and error, I come over, my width, I know for my particular design needs to be 580. And then I do also 580 by 980. So that's perfect right there. To make sure that this doesn't get cut off, I also want to align it to the leftmost spot and I align it to the top. So it's snapped up in this corner without me having to try snapping it physically or anything like that. Okay, we're done with this right now. We're absolutely done. You notice I used another website, Photopea, to remove the center circle and make it transparent to the background. I also removed the edges, also using Photopea. That way you can add an avatar and stuff like that and have it show through the pass or through your image and you can see your canvas underneath. So I highly suggest that website. It was awesome and very easy to use. It already had the circle here. I just clicked the magic wand, did that and deleted it and bam, transparent. It literally took 30 seconds, including saving and everything like that. So we're done with this. Now you want text, right? That's why you're watching this. You just don't want an avatar. You want something to make it personalized to that actual user, to that event, the date, the time, the amount, if it was a dono, anything like that. So you're going to come in and you're going to add text. The text here does not matter. The text within this does not matter. And we're going to explain that in a minute. I use this text to set my font, set the color, set the size, and the placement and alignment of where I want it. Other than that, it doesn't matter what is said there. So we are going to go with username is going to be our layer name. All right. We're going to put username. Our content, again, this doesn't matter. Yes, you could choose username and stuff like that in here. However, it will not print out. It is not seeing that. So we're going to put, I'm going to do this specifically for this. So we're just going to put username because I want to show you that even if you type username here, when the event happens, username will not show up. But I do want to set my font and my styling. I also turn off scale to container. I don't want scale to container on. We are going to go with, I can't remember the font name. Is it OB something? Why is nothing coming up for O? Why is it like my font got deleted? Yeah, that one shows my font. I am not seeing my font in here. Oh, there it was. Orbitron. There we go. Okay, so that's the font I would like to use. Now, your color, you want to make sure that is black. You also want to make sure that any variable color, we're just going to go with black as well. Even though we do not have a variable in here, we just want to make sure that it is a variable. So we're going to put username right here. Now, remember, to align your text to the left, it makes it a lot easier. We also turned off the scale to container so we don't have to worry, because if you leave scale to container on, this is an issue you will run into right here. You go with scale to container and you try adjusting it, it wants to get smaller. So I just leave my container size how I want it. That way I can adjust where I want it and how I want it without it going. But remember, this really doesn't matter. So that's going to be our username placeholder. That's where that line's going to go. Say we want what the event was right here. We're going to add another layer. Nope, not labels. Sorry. General text. And we're going to go with event type content. And we're going to go with event. Again, these are just placeholders. Styling. We're going to go with Orbitron again. There we go. Our color. We're going to go here. And we're just going to choose that. We're going to make this a 30. We're going to align it. And I forgot to make the other one 30 as well. We're going to turn off bold and scale to container is going to be off as well. Wait for that to update. And we're just going to put our event right here as a placeholder. I turn off snap toing because it gets annoying when you're trying to do it because the card doesn't always match up with snap. And I need to make this 30 as well. And turn off bold. All right, so that's going to be our username placeholder, our event placeholder. How about date and time? You want to add that? Let's add that. We're going to go with date and time. Content, again, doesn't matter. We're just going to go with date. Turn off snap to. Styling is going to be Orbitron. We're going to make our font 30. We're going to change our color to this. And we're going to change variable to that. It's inherent, so it doesn't really matter what it is. We're also going to align it to the left. I do believe, yes, I turned that off as well. All right. Wait for that to update. Oh, it did bold. There we go. Kind of match that up with that. We could change this to where it doesn't interfere with other text boxes when we want to move and align stuff. All right. The avatar. We forgot our avatar. All right. Main thing on the pass is the avatar, and we forgot it. So we're going to go here. Now, this is where we're going to add an image. You're going to add the image. You are going to align your image. Try to get it somewhat close. Again, turning snapping off works awesome. Okay, that's all we have to do for that. And maybe you want to put, I don't know. Maybe if you're doing a gift membership, you could put gifted whatever many memberships or subs or anything like that. You could add something else that you want in here. I don't know what else you want, but we are going to add one last thing. We're going to go ahead and put our subtotal down here. We're going to go with content, and we're just going to write. Now, again, this does not matter because this is not our variable. With Orbitron, we're going to go with a dark because, again, thermal printers do not print out in color. If you are using a regular office printer, which this should work, you could probably make it any size you want. Like an 8.5 11 or 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, you can make it that big if you want. We're going to align this. We're going to turn off bold. We're going to make this 30 as well. And we are going to turn off scale to container. So we're going to put our count right here. We're going to move this over. So again, these are just placeholders. These are not what we'll print out. I will show you what happens when you don't have this set up correctly and you print it out when we get to that point. The last thing that we need to do, our images above, make sure your image is below the card. That way the whole prints out. So if you have an avatar that takes up this entire thing, it's not printing over your pass, it's printing under it. And it makes it look like it was perfectly aligned to that center. The last thing I do is remember on a thermal printer, anything that is in this canvas will print out black. Just dark tone is what will come out on the thermal printer. So to prevent that, because everything I have is transparent behind it, I could have just made like a white border really large around this, but I really didn't want to. So we're going to add one more thing, and that is going to be an image that I already have in here. And we're just going to go background. Image settings. We're going to choose our image. I just have a white thing right here. We're going to go select. And we're just going to make this very large. It doesn't really matter because it's only going to show what is here. We're just going to make sure that it covers up the entire canvas, which now it does. We're going to drag that all the way to the bottom. We also need to make sure that our Do not forget, label your avatar image as avatar. I did forget about that. We're going to put our avatar right here. So that is above. So the background image, the white, should be the very bottom. Then the avatar, then the card, and then all your text. So this is what we're going to do. We are going to save this just like this. Now, next step, copy the URL. I do not close out of my overlay. I do not close out of my overlay just because there's no point. It's not needed. But we are going to head over to our OBS right now. And we are going to add our browser source to here. Now, if you notice, I have Lumia Stream on my OBS right now because if any of you are familiar with recording OBS specifically, you are going to see a whole bunch of windows like this. When you're trying to add something to it, like a browser source, it gets really annoying really fast. So I just have Lumia Stream showing here just to make it a little bit more pleasing. We're going to go with browser. We are going to add guide overlay. The name doesn't matter. Oops. The name doesn't matter. The size doesn't matter. You could choose any size you want. You could have it 1 pixel. It really doesn't matter. We're going to copy and paste our overlay in here. Just to make it easier, I'm going to go with 639 by 1000. Even though it's not needed, you could literally make it 1 pixel because it is not viewing this. This overlay has nothing to do with what it is. You do not want to hide it though. When your OBS is on and your stream's running, you do not want to hide this because it will not print out anything. You need to move it just off the screen. All you have to do, just move it off the screen. All right. That's literally all you have to do. You can hide it down there at the bottom to where it's not being recorded or viewed on your stream. But we're just going to leave it up here for now so you can actually see what is happening. All right. So that is that. We're going to jump back over to our Lumia. Now, we set this up as a subscriber. So we're going to go to subscriber alert. You need to enable your base alert, refresh it. Now, my printer is a internet protocol. So from here, this is where you're going to set up any lights that you want to have, any text to speech that you want to have, a chat box that you might have the replies to that, anything like that. If you're using Lumia Stream, you're probably all familiar with this, but we're just going to focus on the printer itself. So we're going to go over to actions. Under actions, under action source, you want to choose Lumia. Action type. First thing we're going to do is we're going to add a delay. And I will explain this in a second. We're just going to get it out of the way since we're here on the Lumia Stream or Lumia scene part. I'm going to add a 5-second delay. It's going to be at the bottom eventually, but you're going to do it. Next one, we're going to go send to printer. Start typing send to printer will come up. Again, mine is on network. So 192.168.187. That is my network printer right there. Image to print. All right, we are going to just do this. We're going to go search for overlay. Now, when you click overlay screenshot, something else will come up down here. To make it easier to where you're not typing in a bunch of stuff, you could just type in thermal, or not type it in, just select thermal. Over here, where it says overlay 1, you want to replace that with what you named your overlay. It is cap sensitive. So if you use letters, numbers, whatever, it has to match it exactly. We just named it guide. That's all we did, guide. So that is how we do it. We're going to add that action. We're not done yet. By far, we're not done yet. So under, I believe it's, yes, you want to go to overlay. You're going to come on action type. You are going to set your image content. This is for your avatar. We're going to choose our overlay. We're going to go with guide. We're going to choose avatar. And the media we're going to choose is just going to be avatar. That's all that you have to do. It was that simple to select your avatar. And we're going to add action. All right. Next thing we're going to do, this is where the variables do not matter. However, your font, your text, your sizing and stuff does matter. Right now, if I just printed this out, which is what I'm going to do, we're just going to test. Let me add this down here. Actually, I want this first. Okay. So the send to printer I have as the last command in this row. I'm not certain if it goes by order, but I want the avatar to be able to populate first on the card. I want it to wait 5 seconds to make sure all the data gets on the card, and then I want it to print. However, if I printed it right now, just right now, and we could watch it on the OBS scene. So I'm going to test all actions, and then we're going to watch what happens on the overlay. So we're going to switch over to the overlay. I'm going to press test all actions right now. And if you noticed, it did not print anything on here. It printed the ticket. It just printed. But what comes up on here is what will show up on your printer. So I didn't have everything set up correctly. That is by design. I didn't want everything set up correctly. It also did not print out the avatar because I tested it from here, not as a an alert. So if I complete and save, which we will get to, if I test this now, it will show up the avatar, but it won't go with a username because I don't have a variable. It won't go date. It won't go count. It won't do anything. So let's test it this way. Now the avatar pops up. And I can adjust it, pull it down just a tiny bit to get rid of that black or that white line right there. But if you notice, that is what printed out on my ticket right now. Exactly how it looks right now is how it printed out. However, it doesn't have this huge white border. It basically has a small white border here and a small white border here, just as it would look. It's has an even ratio, is what I'm trying to say. So we know what that looks like. So we're going to come back into here real quick. We're going to go back into our overlay just to adjust that avatar. This is what I'm talking about. The card is over the avatar, but if I try adjusting the avatar right now, the card will drag. You don't want that. You want to make sure that the avatar is above the card and even lock the card. That way you don't got to reposition text. We're going to make this just a tiny bit bigger just to make sure that our avatar does not have that little white border at the bottom. Put our avatar back under the card. Go ahead and save it. And we're going to jump back onto Lumia. Now we're going to go back in and edit. This is where you set your text actions and what you want to show up. So we're going to go back into overlay. You're going to look at set text content. And then from here, choose your overlay. And now look at what we have. We have our date and time. This is going to be the date and time box. We have our subtotal, we have our username, and we have the event. All right. I'm not sure if the event's going to work out, but we're going to try figuring this out. But we want to set our username right now. Now the content is going to be the username. So we want to make sure that we have username as the variable. Now you could choose the display name, whatever they have as their display name on that thing, because some usernames are not always the same as user IDs are not always the same. But we're just going to go with username. Now, if I print this out, which we're going to jump over here, this is where the text is important. This is where it's important as a placeholder. It is not important for what is said, because if we check out what's going to print out, if I save this and press done, hold on, we're having a little bit of it. Sure, no. Okay, we didn't. All right. Operator error. We didn't add this action. So we're going to add action. There we go. So set text content, I want to make sure that that's on the top, not on the bottom. Now we're going to press done. Okay. Now we're going to complete and save. The username's going to go away. I didn't add anything before it. I just put username. So now if I press test, now it just says Lumia stream. It just printed out exactly how it looks on the screen right now. This is exactly how it's going to be. I'm going to even make this bigger for people. That way everyone could see it a little bit easier. Exactly how it printed out. Obviously, I don't want that. I want them to say like a personalized name. Like if you have certain things for your channels, like I call like party crew or crew, that is like the late crew or the party crew. I want something like that on mine. So what we need to do is we need to put that in there. To do that, where you have your username, you are going to personalize it here. This is how it's going to be done. So say I want just crew is what I want to show up. Make 2 spaces just to do it. I might even have to drag the crew over a little bit to get away from that jet ski, just a tiny bit. But now we're going to save it. Oops, sorry. So you're going to come back in here and you're going to type what you want it to say. And we're going to save it. Now when we print it out, press done. Press complete and save, refresh it. Now when we print it out as a test, gonna wait that delayed. It's gonna make sure everything populates. Now we'll say crew and print it out. So now I have the username there. That's why the other places were just placeholders. And you're gonna do that for each and every other one. So we're gonna go back in, we're gonna edit. We're gonna go back into our actions. We're gonna add overlay. We're gonna go set text content. We're gonna hit our guide. We're gonna hit, say the next one is the event. So we're gonna go event. And maybe is last subscriber recent. I don't know if there is a way to do this. I haven't tried. I don't know. However, you could make several overlays exactly the same. So we're gonna skip the event for right now because I don't think that's gonna work because it's not like I don't know how to do it, and I'm not gonna waste time trying to figure it out. I didn't want to put that on mine because I set mine up somewhere else because I was just gonna have several overlays to do the same thing. But for date and time, we're gonna add. There's 2 options for this. You could add today, which is the current date and time, and this is your system time for what it is. So today is just the date, today's date local. It's whatever your system time is. There's different options. We're just going to go with today. And there is one that's not in here. I do need to put a space here. Actually, I'm going to put 2 spaces. I'm going to put time. That is my local computer time. And then here, we're going to put date. And that. So now when it prints out, add action, we're going to press up, and one more thing. We're going to add one more. So we're going to go into guide. We're going to go to subtotal, and then we are going to add our total. We want to make sure that it is YouTube total subscriber count right here. And we're just going to leave it at that because I don't need text to preface it. So on here, we're going to make sure that printer is the lowest one. We're going to press done. we are going to complete and save. And now if we jump over to our card, we're going to test it. And now it prints it out. So it printed out everything just as I did it, except for the event because I didn't add the event to it. I don't know what the actual coding would be to try to get it to show. But if you notice, it printed out date and time just by date and format, just how I did it with 2 spaces in here, 2 spaces here, same as I added it on the action variable on Lumia stream. And then you have your event. Let me lock this to get rid of that stuff. Your crew. What you can do is go into your overlay specifically and just write what it is, like subscribed on YouTube or anything like that. But hopefully this helps. This is what it is. I will add some pictures to it right now. I'm going to edit this and show you what it looks like on the, let's just edit. We want our username to kind of move over just a tiny bit. And then event, we can put, we're going to go, oops, we're going to go with subbed on YouTube. All right. There might be a way to do the event. If you find it, let me know. And we're also going to move our count just a tiny bit down. All right. We're going to go ahead and save this. Going to edit our card real quick. It looks like our count is still high. All right. We're going to save it. Now, if we come back over here. Oh, and I had to launch pass up the entire time. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but you'll see what it is right now. So now we're just going to test it again. So now the event is subbed on YouTube. The crew is Lumia stream. That's the user. And then the date and time is July 24, 2026 at 1:55 p.m. If you notice, the date actually updated from 1:53. So it added the 2 minutes. So it is real time. That's why I have the delay in there to make sure everything populates. So hope this was able to help somebody or give you an idea on where to go. You could set the event for donation amount or donated whatever. And when you add the text, so say the event, because right now that's just text. So say we're going to put set text content. We're going to go into here. We're going to go guide. We're going to go event. And we're going to go about tip amount. Well, tip won't matter because we're testing it as a subscriber. So I wonder if there is a way. We're going to look real quick. Channel ID, first chatter, latest gift, latest subscriber. Actually, no, I'm a moron. I am a moron. All right. I just figured it out. You don't have to do a variable because we already know what the variable is. We're editing it as an alert for subscriber. So we just write subbed on the tube. So remember, the other one says subbed on YouTube. I'm putting subbed on the tube so you could see the difference to show that it is the text. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go edit another, use this overlay for another alert to where you could see that there are 2 different types that you could use the same overlay for. So we're going to go with done. We're going to go with save and complete. We're going to just refresh this real quick. And now let's pull this up. So remember, it says subbed on YouTube was the last one. We're going to hit test. And this one should be, yep, subbed on the tube. I do need to add the event though, like the event preface. And that is exactly how it just printed out on my printer as well. But we do need to change one thing real quick. So let's just come back in here. We're going to edit this. Again, a lot of this is trial and error, but once you figure it out, you will get this very, very easy. So we do have limited space for this unless I lower the text in the overlay, like the font size. So we're just going to go subbed on YouTube live because obviously it's going to happen when I'm live. I want to make sure that that milestone is hit when it's live. So we're going to go and save this now. So now if we press done and complete and save, and we're going to go into test, refresh, test. Okay. So that is done. Now let's add this exact card, this exact stuff to another alert. Let's go with a membership. All right. Let's do a member, which is the paid. Or let's do a super chat. All right, let's try a super chat. So we're gonna enable alerts. Okay. We're going to edit. I was thinking I was already setting that up before, but I was setting up for something else. So now we're gonna come into Lumia. We are going to go to delay. Actually, we're gonna add delay last, so I don't got to keep changing it. So we're gonna add send to printer. Oops. Sorry. All right, send to printer. And again, set it all up. It does not save your stuff. USB, you just drop it down and it's right there, which it is what it is. All right. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to set here. We're going to go to overlay. We're going to choose overlay screenshot. We're going to choose thermal. And we're going to choose a guide. And we are going to print the image again. We're going to add our action. Remember, this is all individual actions that happen from this. So each thing could be personalized and different using the same card without having to set up anything else. So we did our send to printer. Now we're going to come over here. We're going to go overlay. We're going to go to alert trigger would be nice as well, but we're not triggering our alert. We are going to go to set image content again, guide, avatar, and we're going to go to username. All right. We're going to add our action. Now we're going to set our text content. So again, we're going to go with our guide. We're going to go with our username. And we are going to set our username. And I messed up on the other one, didn't I? I did. I did not want that. I wanted avatar. Thanks for correcting me. We are going to go with avatar. All right. So hold on. I need to delete this. Set image content. Why is it not showing up avatar? This must be a little bit different. Yeah, this must be just a little bit different than what the other one is because it's a sub and a membership or super chat must be two separate things. So again, a lot of this is trial and error. You need to kind of figure out what stuff is going on and how to do it. So we're going to go with get avatar from username and we're going to see how this works. All right. I'm not exactly certain if this is going to work for this, but it should. It should. We're learning this together, trial and error. I mean, it is an easy setup once you get it down. Now we're gonna go. Nope, we wanted text content, didn't we? Set text content. We want guide. We already did the username. Correct. No, we didn't do it. Okay, so we want username, and then we want username. Get the username of the sender. We're going to add our action. Set text content. We are going to go with guide. We are going to go with the event now. So this is super chat. So again, you do have limited space. Super chat. And we are going to see what the variables are. So we're going to go with super. Recent super chats, recent super chat amount. So this is probably what we want to use right here. So we could go sent. And we're just going to leave it as that and see how it turns out. We're going to go ahead and add our action. And we're not doing the subscriber at the bottom. So the subtotal, I guess you still can use that because it is, what would it be? It would be a, still, I mean, super chats from how many subs you had on that YouTube channel at that time. Maybe you didn't get your first super chat till you had 200 subs. And that's when you got your first super chat. So you never know. It might be a milestone indicator. So we're going to leave it at that. And then we are just going to add our delay right now. So we're going to come back in here. We're going to go to delay, and I'm just going to add another 5-second delay. So let's just make sure here, and then we are going to grab send our printer as our last thing. So we're going to press done on everything. We're going to complete and save. It should be set to it. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. We're going to test our super chat. So it does not come up. Well, one, I didn't have any last super chats, so it didn't show, but it did go as a Lumia stream. It did have the date and it did have that. So when somebody sent it, it should come up, but I never had a super chat because I don't have that availability on my channel yet. But we do need to change our username because I forgot. Remember the text. So we're going to go with Rue. Now we're going to save this. Done. Complete and save. Refresh. How about a Lumia stream tip or a stream elements tip? Let's go with the tip alert. All right. I did have some other stuff in here I was trying to set up. So we are going to delete those right now because I'm still working on those. All right. So Lumia, again, we're going to go back to send to printer. 192.168.187. And we are going to choose our printer again, or choose our overlay again. So overlay screenshot, we're going to choose thermal, and we're going to go guide. We're going to choose our image. We're going to add action. And I'm not exactly sure how tips work, if there's an avatar or anything in what do you call it? In stream elements. So we are going to see. I mean, we're gonna test this. So overlay. We are gonna choose our, I don't know. It's not coming from well, I guess it doesn't matter. So image content, yes. We're gonna choose overlay. It's not coming from YouTube, is what I'm saying. We're going to do avatar. We are going to go with get avatar. I guess. I don't know why avatar is not coming up. So let's see what's under stream elements. Nothing. Okay. I have no clue why avatar is different on this when it's not on the other one. So we're just going to go. Hopefully the username is the sender. Because it's still during the test, it still comes up as that. So we're good. We're gonna again. That's gonna be the avatar. We are gonna add that action. Then we're gonna set our text content to username. We're gonna type in true. I don't know why I keep doing that. And we're gonna go with username. We're gonna go ahead and add that action. And then for the guide, for the date and time. Oh, I forgot to add the date and time on the last one. Or did I? No, I think I did. Can't remember. So we're gonna go with date. And it's gonna be today. And time. And we're gonna add our action. And then our guide. And our event. This is where it's gonna get tricky. All right, set content is going to be, let's see. Session, donation, top tipper, recent tip amount, recent tips, comma separated list, parallel no. Okay, how about streamer bot? Donation. I don't know. I am just trying to figure this out, but hopefully it points you guys in the right direction and lets you know. Give variable from message, use equal sign. Might have to be the session tip. Total tips, raw tip. I don't know. There might be a way out there. We're just gonna choose. Let's go with just recent tips. We're just gonna see. We're gonna add our action. All right. Again, we're just gonna drag our printer as the last one. We're gonna do this down here. 5 seconds. We're gonna done. I know I didn't put the. I hope I don't have sounds playing on this one. All right, let's just test this and see what happens. I don't know what the stream element tip looks like, but we're gonna test it and see. The Lumia stream tipped. So it did show that it tipped and everything like that. My launch ID is still down here mainly because I do believe I chose that as the variable in the other one. Or maybe it just stays as the variable when it's on one alert. But I don't know how to get the tip amount on here. I haven't got any tips, so maybe if I had tips, it would do it. But I'm sure there's a will and there's a way to do it. But anyway, that is how you set it up. It's been almost an hour. Hopefully, it will give somebody some idea on how to make it personalized. There's a lot more you can do to it, obviously. But if you're trying to figure out something just to have a generic, maybe a subscriber or follower event, then this is what to do. There's also nutty.gg has a streamer bot plugin that you could use for a thermal printer that has all the alerts already built into it. You don't have to cut paste. You just can't personalize the card. Unless you're a programmer designer, I'm not sure how you could add that on there, but he has a very good alert that plugs into OBS or StreamerBot, and then you would add it to OBS or your other streaming platform to do it. Uh, but anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully it helped somebody. Like, share, subscribe it, and let me know how it worked out for you.